I mean, we've been here for a while since the Europe trip, so it's nice to kind of get home, see your family, celebrate Christmas, and then come back. I think everybody was focused. The older guys know how it goes when you come back from break. Practice is usually rough. There's like not a conditioning test, but the practice is kind of like a track meet, and so we knew that. We told the young guys that just when we were home to stay in shape, do a couple workouts, and Hootie gave us some stuff to do. So we remained locked in, and then we came back, and I think everything's great. It started kind of at the UNC game, just the sort of betterment of the team, the energy, the effort, the intensity, and sort of building our identity and knowing what our identity is and continuing to get better at that. But I think it started with us older guys being better leaders, setting the tone for the younger guys and what they need to follow. But I think ever since then, I think we've started to pick it up.
How much does it change defenses when Ashlyn hits threes like she's been hitting them?
Yeah, it opens up the floor a lot, creates a lot of more space for our offense. When she's knocking down shots, defense knows they have to guard her and they can't give her any open looks. So I think it makes our team a lot better, and it gives us a lot more options on offense.
Did something just click with her, or did she start just having more confidence in her shot? What changed for her to have put up these big numbers?
I think just the confidence, knowing that we want her to take those shots, coach wants her to take those shots, and getting those reps up in practice definitely builds confidence for the games. And then having 2 great shooting nights in a row, building off that, would give a lot of people confidence. So I think she's done a really good job of practice, which carries over to the games.
How do you feel like at this point in the season the chemistry has grown between you guys?
Yeah, I think it's grown a lot. Obviously, everybody knows like the people in and out of the lineup, the injuries that we dealt with at the start. It's never an excuse, but just to have like a consistent who we have out there, and just building that consistent identity and chemistry within the people who are playing is really important. And I think we've gotten a lot more reps in practice. At the beginning of the season, the games were kind of heavy, so we didn't get a lot of practice time in. So I think these past couple of weeks have been huge in getting reps up in practice, building our offense and defensive identities, and continuing to work together in that.
How would you assess how Nika's played these first 12 games? I think everyone knew she wouldn't average 8 or 9 assists with all the guards you had, but how would you assess her play overall?
Great. I mean, she's still our backbone on defense. Always guards the best player, the opposing team's best player, best guard. And she just brings that energy for the team that we need. It's hard to kind of duplicate what she did last year, just because, I mean, she did everything for the team, and now we got new guys coming in, still trying to find that identity. But she's the same player, same tenacious defender, same person who controls the offense, calls the offense, and is the leader for our team. So I thought she's done a really good job.
How are you feeling overall at this point? I know that earlier in the season you were like, I just need to get a few games under my belt to kind of get back to that player that I was, but how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. I think I'm definitely getting my legs under me a little bit more. I don't know if that comes and shows in the ways of blocks and getting up in the air a little bit more, trying to go get rebounds more. But I definitely feel like I'm getting my legs back under me, starting to get a little bit more of a rhythm. And also, too, is just finding my role again within this team. Everybody's roles and what they do is different. I think even from last year, the people who are returning, everybody's doing something a little bit different. But I feel like I'm in a good place.
How do you balance, offensively, how do you balance getting your teammates involved and also the times in the game where you kind of have to take over?
Yeah, I think Coach has been telling me this for as long as I've been here. I'm a huge person that believes, like, let the game come to me, but he wants me to more just take the game. And I think what I've learned is that when I'm aggressive and when I'm looking for my shots first, that's when my teammates are open, and that's when they come to me and they guard me, and that leaves somebody else open. And so I've tried I can obviously do a better job of being and starting the game more aggressive, and not deferring to my teammates and letting everybody else get their touches, get their shots. But that's just kind of who I am. I want to make sure everybody's involved, everybody's happy. But I think definitely first looking for my shot leaves everybody else open.
Do you think that's where the energy for this team has come from? You're stepping up a little bit and being more aggressive and they're following your lead, or is it something else that's feeding into the overall energy?
I think it's like the defensive intensity that we've been playing with, like the flying around, the defense leading into our offense. But I think it definitely does start with the older guys. You can't put that much pressure on a freshman to come in and lead our team to victories when you've got good experienced vets on the team. So I think it did start with us older guys and setting the tone. And the importance of defense, I think, was not really an emphasis for us older guys at the start of the season, and so we really have tried to embrace that. I think that set the tone for these past couple of games that have gone well.
Did you guys know how dangerous Marquette can be? Have you broken them down at all what they have this year? Are they similar to last year? What do you know about them at this point?
Yeah, I think they're similar to last year, but I think they're better. They have a lot of great shooters on the outside to space the floor, and then they've got great post play. I know Liza, I played with her in high school, so she's done an amazing job to start the season. So they've got a lot of different weapons in a lot of different places. And yeah, I mean, they're always good. Marquette's always good. They're always solid. And so we're preparing for them like we do all the time and taking them very seriously and ready for a great opponent.
With the remainder of your schedule being mostly in the league and usually most of the time playing 2 or maybe 3 games a week occasionally, do you like that steadiness of the schedule more than, or you have a week off, play a game or 2, another week off, like it tends to be, you know, with exams and Christmas break and all that other stuff?
Yeah, I love playing games, but I think, like I said, the past couple weeks of like practice has been really good for us just to sort of get reps and do stuff together in a non-game setting, so the pressure is lower and you can actually learn more and improve more right in that instant in practice. So I am excited for a Big East play though, because it does bring consistency and like a schedule of like 2 to 3 games a week. And like I said, I just love to play, so I'm excited for that.
Has that been the emphasis in practice leading up to this game, like making sure you get out on the perimeter?
Yeah, like on defense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry.
So running people off the line. I think they have the best shooter in the country, numbers-wise. So trying to limit their threes and their layups and make them take tough contested twos has been huge in practice, and definitely an emphasis for this game.
How much have the freshmen impressed you? You know kind of what it's like coming to play at UConn, and they've been thrust into this role that they may not have expected to be in. How much has that impressed you?
Yeah, it's really impressive. I don't feel like they've had like a freshman game where, you know, freshmen typically have, but they have like this tremendous confidence and fearlessness about themselves. And I think we've all tried to instill them in practice that we trust them, we believe them, we have the utmost confidence in them, and we want them to contribute. We want them to play right away. So just instilling that confidence in them and them having it themselves is huge, and they're doing a really great job. Coach was telling us the other day, like, every Big East game is the road to winning a regular Big East championship. So this is huge. Obviously, they're a great team. They're undefeated. They haven't had a loss yet. And I think they're ranked like 2 spots behind us. So it's a huge game. I think every game now in the Big East is very important because we know the league is very good. So any one loss could hurt us. But to set the stage, sort of early Big East play for what we want to be continued throughout the whole Big East play, I think is very important, and it ranks pretty high.
Did you guys talk about or think about last year's loss to Marquette in February at all leading up to this game?
Nah, I don't think we
Okay.
really talked about it. But I think we just try to
Let that go.
let that go. But I'm sure it's an extra motivator
Yeah.
when teams beat you year prior to sort of get your revenge. I
Yeah.
would say it's huge.
Especially because you couldn't play in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I think any competitive player, when they have something new to prove, they sort of get like a fire lit under them. So I would definitely say that's not like a motivator and why I do what I do, but it's like sort of like an extra motivation to sort of prove, I guess I can play the 4 now. So we'll see if that continues. But anyway, yeah, I would say like definitely as a competitor, like if there's something you haven't done that you can prove to people you can do, it definitely motivates you. Marquette is huge in like their sets and having a rhythm on offense. So defensively, anything I can do to disrupt that, maybe get in the passing lane, maybe deny a pass that they would usually make, and sort of have to make them make a play and do something that they're not used to or comfortable with, and sort of blow up their offenses and just make them uncomfortable, I think, is something that we're focusing on in practice and something that we want to focus on in the game.
You said you kind of forewarned the young kids that they had to put in some work while they're away at home. Did everybody come back energized and ready to go? Have you had good practices?
Yeah, I think sometimes you don't know what that first practice after break is going to look like, but I thought it went pretty well in terms of everybody being engaged, everybody being locked in, nobody being like extra winded, and you can tell like who worked on their game at break, and so I was pleased with what we looked like after break.